check-in, temperature check. I will ask Chewy if you can get us kicked off.
Yes, Tam. Temperature check right now is like still warm. Even though like there's a lot of stuff happening, I feel that one of the challenges that we've been having this week is just catching up in a more coordinated way to everything that's happening. I think that's like the first time that teams go through this like more as like everyone as contributors, like collectively. So I feel is one of the challenges, but at the same time, I'm excited about the changes and just the awareness that it's bringing. So yeah, I would say warm, but even readier for just for catching up and being able to do a better job coordinating around comms. I'll pass it to Juanca.
Thanks, Chewy. Yeah, I also feel there's like a lot of things happening. Super interesting. This process of the working groups trying to become DAOs and all that what that means, but it's super interesting. Also, learning as much as I can, and yeah, personally, I have been feeling a little bit with a cold, but that's the only distraction really that I have been feeling these weeks. And I'll pass to Livy.
Thank you. I'm feeling very excited about this talk I'm having with the Karma team. We're gonna start drafting a proposal. We have kind of a step forward we want to go. I think this will be very important for SoftGov, for understanding how to implement some of our metrics. What are the data sources we have? The ones we don't have, how can we get it? And it feels like there's something coming full circle. And I'm excited about that. And yeah, always great to see a lot of new people in the orientation call, and also reward systems feel like it's flowing like it should now. And there's of course many things to fix still, but there's a pace moving forward. And yeah, I will pass to Chewy. Or Chewy just went. I'll pass to Ben's.
Hi. Yeah, I'm just checking in, I guess. I haven't been on the Stewards call in a little while. I'm kind of trying to wrap up some of the things that I've taken on and kind of assess like where I want to go. So, yeah. Thanks. I'll pass to, I don't know who else gone. I got on a little later. Pass to Lauren.
Oh, sorry. Okay. Sorry, the mute managing. Yeah, temperature check. I'm feeling good and warm, and you know, I felt like I just want to say I voted in this like how to use the Gitcoin grants money, and there was like it was like neck and neck, two options, and they were my top two choices. But then when I voted, the other third option that I put third went to top, and I was like, wait, oh no, I broke it. Anyway, I just think that snapshot is really cool and ranked choice voting is really cool, and how it like it's like totally not gameable. So yeah, but I'm feeling good about that. I'm also really excited about the Give TC liquidity that Mitch has been working on. I think the proposal just passed in the Give Garden really recently. So I'm feeling good and really warm about that. And there was a tweet from the TC yesterday about like taking care of yourself with this cat who was like doing all this like nice plushy stuff. And it felt so supportive. And I think it's like a message that everyone in the community always needs to hear. It's like, take care of yourself, you matter. And it really, sorry, I touched the
Maybe I'll throw it over to Mert.
Oh no, she passed it to me. I'm taking.
Oh, sorry, Graham, go ahead.
It's okay. She may have been. We were mute games, because she's right here. But yeah, I want to give huge praise to Mitch for like 6xing our liquidity almost single-handedly with this token swap with Give. Super huge, and it's really awesome to see. And so I'm really excited about that. And now we have a decent market on HoneySwap. So if people want to buy without using the bonding curve, they actually can for the first time ever, starting today. I think Give got its token swap up, so that was $45,000 worth of liquidity. And when when the laser tag multisig makes those final things, then we'll have another 45. So then we'll have over 100K worth of liquidity, which is something you can actually like use. And hopefully we'll have more with the water proposal and all these things. So liquidity swaps, laser tag is on fire. And I also really love the like tight race on the Gitcoin, on the what to do with Gitcoin funds. So that's super cool. And just in general, the TC is really killing it lately. I'll pass it to YGG.
Hey guys, is this just temperature check?
That's right.
Yep.
Okay, yeah. Pretty lukewarm for me. I got sick last week, but amazingly it wasn't COVID, just good old-fashioned cold. So feeling great this week, and just getting back in the swing of things. Proposal inverter, really exciting. Just got off a call with Mert and Mitch, and the proposal is ready to go. So we're excited to have a kind of final discussion for a few minutes in this call later to get some feedback and communication on that. And we're ready to deploy the proposal for conviction voting. So it'll be up this week, I imagine. And yeah, that's so the lab was canceled last week. I was sick, and ViViV was there was a holiday, which was good. He was celebrating, but back on this Friday. And yeah, so just getting back to the swing of things. And I'll pass it over to Gene.
Hello, just dropping in to listen in. I apologize, I'm not a steward, but I appreciate all the stewards very much.
Hey, Gene.
Hey.
So we're just doing a temperature check. If you want to share anything about, I don't know, what's going on in the community or for yourself personally.
Been going through quite a bit, to be honest. But yeah, taking it one day at a time. Yeah, and yeah, it's blessed to be a part of this community. So thank you guys very much.
Yeah, we're really happy you're here too. Cool. I'll pass it on to Mitch.
Yeah, sure. Sorry, I got some crazy background distractions today. Feeling really good though. The reward system is coming along. The quantifications are actually mostly getting done on time, which is great, considering we really upped the ante with the amount of stuff that needs to get done. Proposal inverter is hot. We're really making good progress and actually like collectively figuring stuff out between multiple DAOs, which is hard, but we're doing it. And yeah, I'll keep it short because there's a lot going on here, but I'll pass it back to Tam.
Cool. And I'll pass to Nate.
Yeah, temperature is hot. I really enjoy seeing all the different initiatives and the information flow between working groups really improving in the past couple of weeks, which is really awesome to see. I think we're having the right conversations in the working groups, and it's really nice to see everybody kind of digging into their own functions and directions. And so, yeah, it's amazing. And just want to say, Gene's back. That's awesome. Hey, what's up, man? Good to see you again. And yeah, it's been great, and I think we're looking pretty good. And I'll pass it over to let's see if I can Zepti.
Thanks, Nate. Yeah, I mean, the GIF TC swap is awesome. Like, there's a lot of liquidity. I was even talking with Juan today because yeah, like there is extra like even in transparency too, like there is extra funds, like we're using less funds that were we saying we were using for, and then we had this idea of buying TC with these extra funds, so yeah, it can support the TC somehow. And then yeah, having all this liquidity in Honeyswap, it makes very tentative to buy it from the Honeyswap. I guess like it's not aligned, but yeah, it's very tentative and it's awesome to have this liquidity. Yeah, I'll pass it to it's hard now. I'll pass it to you, Tam.
How about Manu, who hasn't gone yet?
Thanks, Tam. Yeah, I mean, temperature is warm. I've been just syncing with all the stewards and helping them with the issues. And I like that there was an option to embezzle the Gitcoin money and party in Barcelona. No one voted for it, but it was an option. It's a good.
I voted.
I didn't see that was. But it just
Yeah, there was a few people who voted for it actually. Even Jeff voted for it. It was definitely in his list.
Oh, okay, that's cool. I was gonna say, good testament to the ethics of our community, but it's quite sad that you can censor that. So people voted for that. Anyway, it's good. I'm just finding a balance on contributing and helping all the different working groups that I'm helping at. And other than that, yeah, it's pretty warm. I'm almost finished with the praise quant Mitch. I'll be done by the time you say machaca. So yeah, we're good. And I will pass it to who hasn't gone yet.
Eduardo.
Edu. Yeah, I'll put. Sorry, Mert.
Sorry, Mert. Mr. Jake, I had time for myself just today, so that is highly appreciated. And I think, yeah, that's highly appreciated. I feel also that, becoming more efficient with the onboarding process and delegating more in other members of Communitas has been really helpful on that sense. Gideon's stepping up and sort of, tweaking our manifesto and all this stuff seems like, people owning also their time here. I feel it's really nice. So on that sense, it's good. I love seeing the people from Gnosis joining the call today to ask about praise. That's interesting by itself. Even if it doesn't get implemented, it's just interesting that I feel it's one of these products that we don't push enough for people to know about. And I will pass it on to Mert, of course.
Thank you, Edu. So temperature check, as Mitch and Sean mentioned, there's been a very hot development going in a proposed inverter side. We've tried to solve these little administrative issues, then we're good to go. Like the team is building, very excited about it. And also, yeah, this week I've been actually kind of very stressed due to panic attack things, but everything is good for now. So I'm ready to work with like full speed now again. So I'm good on that side. So that's my temperature. And I think why did you talk?
Nope, I'm left.
Okay.
Yeah, so temperature is warm, and I'm really excited about the praise quantifications. Like, I really enjoy quantifying gold praise, so that has been fun. Praise systems is slowly like picking up more pace, and it feels like we might be doing a demo next week on the community call of the new bot and the new system. We were actually planning on doing one this week, but then there were some changes that came up, so we won't be doing it. But yeah, really excited about that. And kind of sad I wasn't able to take the last bot army session on TC Labs. So I'm like planning on maybe trying to do more like working hours kind of sessions to ensure that we don't miss out on any of the content of the course. And that's pretty much it. Who hasn't gone? I think everyone's gone. Maybe Wonka hasn't gone. I don't know.
Well, Wonka went. Yeah, okay. It's just so long ago now. This check-in lasts 20 minutes. Staff, welcome to the Stewards Weekly Call. As you can see on the agenda, the first point that we do every week is just a temperature check. If you want to share something about yourself personally, the community, any of the working groups that you're participating in, everyone gets about a minute to share. Is there anything you'd like to share, Steph?
And the weather is great. I'm contributing to Omega, and I'm just eavesdropping into this one. So I'm here to listen to what's happening.
Yeah, cool. And you're very welcome to hang out. So then I guess I'm the last to go, and I would say I took Monday and Tuesday as personal days, and I had meant to get a bunch of personal stuff done, but I think I came to the realization that we're not a dog family, so I think I have to get rid of our puppy, and it was like very traumatic for all of us. So I went through like I guess a tough emotional period those last 4 days. But this morning I woke up feeling more at a better place with where we are with that. And didn't make it to the praise quant again. I don't know what's going on. I feel like that lotto was rigged. I keep looking forward to a week for doing praise, and I'm not getting picked because it is fun to go through them, as Vi said. And the last thing, I couldn't be more delighted that Jean is on our calls today. It's really good to see you again. So I left it on from last week. Mount Mano is going to be the Stewards Working Group Coordination Lead, and I couldn't be happier. So thanks, Mount Mano, for taking this on. And then I want to bring up calendar changes that came up. So Lauren was hoping to find another time for the stewards because she has a conflicting call with comms and Giveth, and it seemed like a good idea to change things up too. I proposed either with comms, TEC comms, or with the SoftGov that we could change the stewards call. So Tuesday, 6 p.m. I am assuming that anyone who thinks it's worse for them can voice their dissent now, but otherwise we will move the stewards to Tuesday at 6 p.m. and then the comms weekly will happen on Wednesdays at 7 p.m. in this time slot. Any reason not to do it? 1, 2, 5, 4.
I dissent.
Okay, what do you propose, Mitch?
I mean, won't this just go away in like 2 weeks, or is this a permanent thing?
I think it's a permanent thing. Is that right,
That's
Lauren?
Yeah. So it's
we don't change.
Yeah, we don't change, and this is like the last change. Like Europe is changing, and then that's the end. So they'll be like permanently conflicting.
For the next 6 months.
Yeah.
Okay. Tuesday, 6 p.m. CET.
I mean, we could wait out the 6 months. No.
I won't be able to ever come, and then yeah, that's what that will be like.
Okay. I will be able to sometimes come. So.
Oh no, what does it conflict with for you, Mitch?
Usually I'm out volunteering during that time on Tuesdays. So that would be my conflict, is like rushing to be here on time for this call.
Yeah.
It's a personal thing, but yeah.
Okay. Any other voices?
It's also conflicting with one of my classes, which
maybe a doodle is the best approach. And
Well, the other option was SoftGov, which would be 7 p.m. on Tuesday. And it's it's just one of the other ideas.
It's 1 hour later.
And I don't know, how do you feel about that, Liv?
To substitute with SoftGov?
So
And
basically be stewards and somebody moved it on the calendar already. You guys are fast. It would be stewards and SoftGov switching. So SoftGov would happen on Wednesdays and stewards would happen on Tuesdays, both at 7 p.m.
So SoftGov would happen right now.
That would, yeah.
Yeah, that can work.
What was the original
Cool.
intent for moving it?
Lauren asked because she has a conflict that happened because of the time change, the time difference. So the time zone that they're in doesn't change and Europe changes. So the basically ends up placing some meetings on top of each other.
Gotcha.
Question about Tuesday at 7 p.m. for Mert and Mitch. Does that facilitate things on your sides?
I can make it work.
Yeah, me too. Like, it will be much better.
So then, Livia, if that works for you, if it works for SoftGov, you probably want to next week to confirm with people in SoftGov if the change works.
Yeah, it would be good to send a message to regular people. There, I can tag them there now and see if that works.
Okay, so maybe we'll just hold off until the beginning of next week before we confirm. Okay. Cool. And I'm gonna just switch it back on the calendar just until we're back. Okay, well, let's move on. I'll do that in a minute. Okay, so we'll figure out about SoftGov and Stewards. The orientation party is going to start happening on Thursday at 7 p.m. right before the community call. And it starts happening next week. So I guess we could maybe even promote that a little bit because I think people are used to Wednesday at 6 p.m.
Yes.
Check in about any votes on gardens or Tau voting that we need to talk about or look at. Does anybody want to raise any votes this week? Let's have a look and see what we have. Okay, the comms translation team and updating the fees. When does this end? It ends in 15 minutes. Cool. Okay. Check in on the spotlight for the community call.
Tam, there's something I wanted to say on this, and it's something that happened to me, so maybe it's just to share, that if you vote with all of your tokens in one of the proposals, you may not be able to vote on the decision votes like update fees. So it's good to leave like just one in order to be able to vote in these decisions.
That's a bug. Do you have any screenshots of that or anything? Because that shouldn't be the case.
It said that the decision was with a snapshot, and that in that snapshot I didn't have tokens because I think they were in a proposal, supporting a proposal.
I don't think so.
Okay, maybe
Yeah.
I will double check.
Well, I mean, it's an issue no matter what. If you think that, whether you could vote or couldn't vote or whatever the outcome was or how it really worked, that's an issue. And OneHive needs to know so they can fix it for everyone. But yeah, who knows what really happened? But if you have any screenshots or any details, send it to me and I'll make an issue.
Yeah, I will try to do it right now to see if I can take a screenshot.
Sorry to interrupt. Do you mean that you couldn't vote because you had your tokens staked in gardens?
Yes.
It happened to me, the same stuff. I couldn't vote. I couldn't vote when I had all my tokens in gardens.
Yeah, now I can.
If either of you have screenshots of this in any way, or you can make it happen again, That would be really beneficial. And then I'm sure, because that's a really critical failure of the application, because you should be able to vote with decision votes, and there's no tech on the smart contract side. There's no reason why that would happen. So this is a front end issue that they need to fix.
I mean, I also had that strange, I think we decided it was also a bug that I wasn't able to rank choice less than the full amount of choices, that I could only submit a vote after I selected all of the choices in some order. I couldn't select just one or two. I wasn't able to push the vote button. It was grayed out. And once I ranked all of the choices, then I was able to press the vote button, which is also not behavior that I expected.
And that's if you guys send me these things, I can make issues. That would be for Snapshot. And I'm sure that they don't have too many other people, but they can, I don't know. I don't think that they have too many people using ranked choice voting. So I'm not surprised to hear bugs. But again, if you guys run into any of these technical issues, send me the screenshots, send me some text, and I'll rally it to the right person. When I make an issue on GitHub, it gets more attention than others, so it's worth it just going through me. And then we get what we want.
I also wanted to add something about the gardens. Is there any way we can create space for, say, a proposal that's been up for a certain amount of time to allow people to talk about either dissent or critiques or something to improve that proposal? Just to kind of give space for that. I don't know.
I think just the forum, right?
It's actually linked to the forum. So the link that it pulls all the data from it, and so you can actually see all the comments right on the gardens page.
I see. So that's all linked to the forum. I was wondering how people were commenting. I was like, okay, thank you.
Okay, spotlight for the community call for tomorrow. I guess we don't have one, and it's Chewy who has a proposal. Maybe we could, is there an idea for a proposal on the forum? Maybe Wesley has his proof of competence funding proposal. That could be pretty cool.
Yeah, I was thinking about that, and we talked about that yesterday day before yesterday on the call, and yeah, he still needs to update a little bit the proposal, I believe, but we can still reach him out to ask him if he agreed to present it on community call.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but he doesn't know the time. He doesn't know that it's for tomorrow, so we need to check in with him if his availability.
Also, Marco brought up something interesting on that forum post, and that I think that we'll probably run into a lot more often is this duplication of efforts within the TE community around similar initiatives. And I'm wondering how we can improve that type of thing to where we're actually not funding separate but similar initiatives and promoting collaboration between these types of things rather than maintaining this like competitive environment for these types of projects that are trying to accomplish the same end goal.
Is this, I'm not reading Marco's message as competitive. It sounds like he actually wants to use this.
Yeah, I would just say that there's a lot of different initiatives that I've seen that are trying to do the same thing within the TE space. And if we fund one, I think there would be an argument for people to justify funding another and another and another. And so like, I think this issue might become something later on.
Can I raise a hand and just inquire real quickly, because I'm failing to find what the current fee structure is, and I was just wondering because I want to at least be aware of the current parameters before I try. I'm sorry I hadn't voted on this one before. I just want to throw a vote in, but I'm not sure. It says actions will be update fees deducted from buy and sell orders, respectively 16% and percent, but that is 2, but from what is okay, I apologize that I haven't found the actual proposal.
It's okay. It was 18 and 4. And you can scroll down on the all the way down to the very last. Does it? Oh, it doesn't come up for. That's right.
It doesn't have the forum link.
It doesn't have a forum link. Yeah, so there's a forum post that documents everything for this, but unfortunately, decision votes don't have a forum link.
Maybe we can make it
another
issue.
another issue
for gardens.
Another issue for gardens.
Thanks
I'm just gonna spend the rest of the call making issues, guys.
Yeah, thanks for bringing that up. It's this one, Goldilocks proposed tribute adjustments in the forum. And yeah, it's a bummer that it's not in here, huh? That we can't link to it. Can we link to it in the description area? Or should...
Sorry, I think you could, but you have to use the terminal instead of the... Yeah, you have to do a little bit differently when you make the votes, but I think you can.
Yeah, you can, but like Mitch said, no, really, Mitch can. Mitch could, and I could talk to Mitch to figure out how to do it. Maybe YGG could, but I bet that's about it. Maybe Vi, you're pretty savvy with these things, but not. It takes next level kind of technical abilities to do that.
Cool. So our ask, I guess, is going to be that forum post is required, the same way it's required for conviction voting, right?
For sure.
Yeah, that's also new to me. So in all of the descriptions, I wrote that we should link the forum post in there. So what we should do is just have the forum post, and then there's no way to put a link even in a comment or anywhere in that page. Like people would just have that small description.
That small description is auto-generated.
Oh.
I didn't even type that in. That was completely auto-generated by the proposal request itself.
Hey, what were you asking 5 minutes ago? Sorry,
Oh no,
no,
it's okay, Vi. I just said that you're technically savvy enough to probably figure out how to do something. Sorry for shouting your name.
Yeah.
What were you referring to? Maybe you can try looking fine.
Oh no, it's totally. I was just making a joke. Totally, just a joke. It's cool. But we're talking about how in DAO voting proposals you can't make a link work without being very technically savvy.
Okay, cool. So awesome. I guess we'll go back to then Wesley and the proof of competence. And who is going to reach out to Wesley about the spotlight for the community call? Edu, are you already in conversation with him, since we're talking with him about starting this in Communitas as well?
Yes, I can do it right now.
Cool. Awesome. Rewards progress. Want to share some updates, Olivia or Mitch?
Take it, Olivia.
Mitch has latest updates about the quant. That's what's most pressing now.
Yeah, I'm just waiting on a couple people that are in this call. Manu and Livy, and then I think it's pretty done enough, I would say.
Pressure's on.
Yeah, good. No pressure, just, gentle reminder.
I love how you're not afraid to name the names, Mitch. Okay, cool. And do we have any date for when we're expecting distributions for the backlog of praise? I know we were waiting last week for some parameter finalizations.
Yeah, I think we still have to have finalize some of those decisions that we didn't finish last week, and we'll have another meeting this week that there is some options passing around. And Christopher just shared yesterday that we probably won't be able to do retroactive distribution for source cred. And it seems like what makes more sense is just start source cred fresh from like now on. But that also needs to be a little fleshed out.
Cool. All right, then if there's nothing else on rewards, proposal inverter. Would like to give an update on proposal inverter.
Mark.
Okay, so thank you, Tam. So as we have talked in last week's Steward's call about the funding of 45K and the ownership questions, we've discussed in and out how does this product will further develop token engineering as a discipline. So Sean can also give some opinion on that. So, but I can also give very briefly. So we've talked about its open source mantra. So it's an open source project that everybody can fork whatever they want. So it's not a product of one specific project that is like producing profit out of it. So, and also we've talked about what will be the quote unquote the profit structure, and actually the reality no one has ever talked about actually. So maybe we were talking about there should be proposed inverter treasury, since it should be a self-sustainable product, like we cannot always ask funding for other people. So that's one thing that has been discussed. Another thing is that so maybe proposed inverter will benefit token engineering commons directly through buying tokens from bonding curve. So it will give both parties mutual benefits, saying like through the entry tribute, common pool will have more money, and proposed inverter treasury will have some TC tokens. So it will further develop, use it for further development, and also it will give liquidity for TC token. So that's the one thing that has been discussed.
I just want to just maybe clarify before people get too far ahead. And that right now there's no structure in the MVP for the proposal inverter to like levy fees. So right now it's
Exactly.
like, yeah, just to clarify that.
Yeah, exactly. Very good clarification. So, as I said, it's not discussed yet. So, there's no plan for revenue generation, etc. But we talk these things. If there is, if in the future, if there's a revenue generation discussion, there will this can arose in the process. I just wanted to say. So, uh, so sorry for my confusion. So today I will upload on night the proposed inverter proposal that has been refined in the forum, and I would like people to like get engaged with it, and whether if you guys believe this will increase token engineering development as a tool. Also, like in just one last question. Sorry, Sean, you may want to talk. Just one last thing that mentioned in the call. Ata was saying that this tool by itself, the idea of this tool is to fund public goods through the DAO to DAO collaborator way. So I think the tool itself will be the contribution to common goods, public goods space token engineering commons. So these are the things that's arose. I know it's clustery, but maybe it will give some gist. So, Sean, would you like to go?
Yeah, really good. Thanks for that, Mert and Mitch. And I just want to summarize. So I see that there's 3 points. So how does this project benefit token engineering public goods? Number one, it's a massive open source project. So the entire workflow process, development process, front-end design, Solidity design, the token engineering, the modeling and simulation, and the coordination between all the workers. It's we record all our videos, we post those, and all the code is open source. It's a huge open source project, so that's how it's token engineering public goods. Number two, like Mert said, the purpose of the proposal inverter is to accelerate the funding of public goods, essentially through the DAO to DAO philosophy that Prime DAO is trying to bring to life. And number 3, and I want to reemphasize that there's nothing to do with this. There's nothing to do with fees or revenue generation in the current MVP spec, and the current MVP spec is what we're asking funding for. But there's these future scope possibilities of having a fee mechanism built in, or we were talking about a tips mechanism, so it can be a completely optional contribution back to the team when people are using the proposal inverter. And we could do something really cool with that, like having a proportion of that mint TEC tokens on the bonding curve. I think that'd be really cool, and that got really positive reception in the call today. So just wanted to summarize those 3 points.
And one last thing, people talk that maybe we need to introduce like a proposed inverter as a product more comprehensively to TEC community before people has been discussed through forum, so people will have more comprehensive understanding of the product. So I would like to arrange a call, like proposed inverter party that we have done like last week, similar to that one. The LTF team will show their cat modeling and explain the product. Maybe it will be beneficial for our community to think and decide on how to fund it, how much to fund it, etc.
Yeah, that's a very interesting idea. So the post by Mitch didn't get so much traction. Just none of us really replied on the forum. So it's good that we're having this conversation now. And if I understand the next steps is, Mert, you'll post another version of the proposal inverter proposal, the one that I assume we would eventually post to conviction voting to pass by the TEC community, and ask to have like a proposal inverter AMA, something where we can invite everyone from the TEC community to hear more about the proposal inverter. I mean, usually that would be like, that's what the spotlight is great for, but this is not a 5-minute, this is not a 5-minute project. So I think I support the idea of having, a party on the TEC. Do you have ideas for timings? Is it something that would take place of a regular weekly or something else?
So this will be irregular meeting, so I would like to actually ask you guys' availability as well. So since you are the thought leaders of the community, I think your opinions matter. So I don't know about timing, but I will try to coordinate the best time for everybody to join. So let's say it's open for now. I will chat with you guys and try to find the best time.
Cool. All right, great. Looking forward to it. Anything to add before we move on for proposal inverter?
I think I just want to make sure that when you do the AMA and we talk about things, that we really focus on like the amount. I don't think that there's any doubt that the TEC wants to fund the proposal inverter. The only question is what percentage of the total amount of funds that we have right now should go to it, whether it's more or less than what's currently offered. And I think that's where the debate should really focus on, because I think everyone is like, this is clearly a great TE project. It's just the amount. So anything we can do to come to a better consensus on how much we should put towards it is probably going to be really valuable.
Gotcha.
Cool.
I mean, it's been up there for a week or so, and nobody's throwing ideas out there.
Yeah, I think a part of that is because a lot of I don't know the other participants within this funding initiative and their views on it, and if if we say, oh, we only want to contribute 5 or 10,000, will they back out? Because that's a non-starter for me, in my opinion. But yeah, I just think there needs to be more information.
Can I propose to have an open Q&A session in the TEC that we invite all the other people or something like that, so we can have a bigger conversation.
I think that's what the AMA is for.
Oh, okay, sorry. Never said anything. Thank you, Mitch.
Oh, I see. So it'd be Prime DAO, Gitcoin, Radical Jerps, and the TEC all together.
I think probably the contributors would join rather than the payers to like, you know, so like LTF, Prime DAO, TEC coming in, explaining more thoroughly of like what we're trying to build to the TEC.
Yeah. No, but go ahead, Edu.
Wouldn't it be interesting to have people someone representing GTC, Prime DAO, and so on? I think it would be more transparent in that way.
I just to the point about the question not being about how important proposal inverter is, but what is the right figure that the TEC contributes. I remember last week Griff made the point that the other payers have much larger treasuries than the TEC has. So 45K compared to the 850K that we have is something just under 5% of what we actually have. So the difference might be very stark. And I think that was it was more of a question of what percentage of what's in our commons pool does the TEC want to contribute more than like just some figure that everyone else is contributing, but looking at it more as a percentage of what we have in total. And yeah, so I think pulling a number out of the blue, just saying 45K, does make it a little bit. It's a little bit out of context versus compared to some other payers with much larger treasuries to pull from. And yeah, it'd be interesting to have that conversation as well. But yeah, I think it's a project that
I think it would be really fascinating to have all the payers together. I haven't really thought of that until just now, because the contributors are kind of pitching this to all of the different potential payers, and honestly it's become a little bit political, like it's due to the transparency. I mean, all the payers can see what all the other payers are paying, and we're kind of hearing the same story of why aren't they paying more. But I think it would be really interesting to have all the payers together in the same room. Yeah, I mean, so I that might be something different from the AMA, but duly noted that would be a good conversation to have. So I'm not promising anything, but I'm just kind of acknowledging out loud that it would be a really interesting conversation.
Yeah, agreed. I think it's a different conversation because I think each of the groups that are contributing will be very focused on their own ability to fund this project, and on the other people and the other projects' abilities. Okay, anything left from Proposal Inverter? Mert, I see that you're going off mute, but I can't hear your voice.
No, I was just going to say I'm done.
Oh, cool. Okay, then another ask about Amsterdam. So far we have Zep, Wonka, Angela, and Chewy. Is anyone else going to be in Amsterdam around the mid to end of the month? There's a bunch of conferences happening.
Nogan was actually talking with him today. He was interested on joining, and he was actually asking like if there going to be like any organization like in Paris, or anyone is like figuring out by themselves.
Who's asking?
Nagan.
Nagan. Oh, cool.
Yeah, he will probably attend too.
Oh, great. Cool. Cool. I had been hoping to go, but I think having a puppy made me realize that suddenly can't happen so easily anymore, which is why I think we are not going to have a puppy for much longer. Okay, upcoming TEC presentations. Pat has a day of April 1st, 3 p.m. UTC, and wants to know which of the stewards is available to present on April 1st.
Can always present if no one else wants.
What was that?
I can always present if no one else wants.
I'd like to do a presentation at some point. Just have to double check my availability on that day.
Okay, yeah, that would be great. I was hoping we could actually go and make sure all of the stewards have a chance to do this presentation.
Yeah, I
April
think
1st
that's a
at 3
great
p.m.
great idea.
3 p.m. is pretty early for you, but not impossible. UTC, not CET.
Who? Okay, I'll check and confirm.
Okay.
I have to do the math on the time conversion.
Okay, cool. CSTEC boundaries, gentle reminder.
Yeah, I added that there because we had this talk in SoftGov this week about boundaries of working groups. I think there was a lot of information there that needs to be digested, but I realized there's still some confusion with the Common Stack mission and the TEC mission. So when we think about services that the TEC that the working groups of the TEC are offering, the cultural build is not one of them, for example, and just having that clear that a lot of the design approach we have in the TEC was from this partnership with the Common Stack, and that this is the design pattern of the Common Stack, and the mission of the TEC is purely advancing the field of token engineering. And how can we always keep that in mind to see what can possibly be out of scope of that? So like we used to say a lot early on that, for example, it's not when people were confused about what is token engineering, what is the purpose of the TEC, it's not to create an economy, a token economy for any project that wants help with their token. It's to create practices that multiple projects could use to create understanding of what is token engineering, of how to do safe token engineering. So it's not working on something specific, but more in the broad sense of this tooling that can be used, tooling and practices that can be used by the field itself. So yeah, I just wanted to bring that, clarify that boundary specifically, and that a lot of the cultural build practices, even implementing Ostrom's principles and all that is much part of the Common Stack design and mission. And also the praise system is a Common Stack product or a General Magic product. I don't know, we have to put the communicate that better, but praise is not a TEC product. So also that clarification that if something comes to the TEC, like, oh, we want to integrate praise in our community, it would be cool if folks can talk to me or Christopher or Griff to understand how we can do that through Common Stack paths.
Okay, I that's an interesting point of view. I'm curious to know the cultural practice, where does that end and when does that start, and what are the consequences of not acknowledging that? Just to have clear boundaries, as not only where it starts but also where it ends. For me, for example, cultural practice, does that implies also for example, the onboarding process? Does that also takes in consideration the bots that BuyByB creates, that applies in the cultural build? I want to know like all these kind of things to be aware and not like overstep into people's, projects or ideas or whatever it is. And then also it goes to saying, like, if another project implements Austrian principles, do you like what would be like, for example, someone comes here and implements Austrian principles just by seeing the TEC build, do they have to reach out to Common Stack to notify that? Like, is there any, what will be the consequences of that? Like, because I don't understand very well this sense of owning these practices, and what are the consequences of these implementations that will be very similar to the ones probably done by the Common Stack.
Go ahead, Livia. You can go first.
Yeah. So it's not. I don't think it's ownership of the practices. It's just what is in scope of what the TEC can offer and what is out of scope of what the TEC can offer. So I'll give the example of gravity, for example, not to put on the spot, but because we were discussing about this yesterday, of for example, offering orientation or guidance from like SoftGov or from the cultural build to other projects. Like, I think this is out of scope of what the TEC can offer, because it's not necessarily connected with advancing token engineering, but still can be a practice that Gravity has, and there are overlaps of Gravity as this own entity with what the TEC is and with what other services they are embracing. So yeah, I think this is also something that needs to be discussed more. But yeah, go ahead, Griff. What are you?
I was just going to say, I mean, I completely agree. No one owns any ideas there, but I mean, maybe it's like, there is like a little tip of the hat, like ViViV works for General Magic and General Magic is contracted at below cost by Common Stack to build the reward system, right? So General Magic, this organization that's like 20 people and a lot of people in this call, is building the reward system and investing into the reward system. Common Stack is subsidizing that, but it doesn't cover the full cost of it. And the TEC isn't really paying for the reward system yet, but will have a hand in it because the reward system exists, and the people who are working on it will get praised. So in some ways it kind of is, right? And so it's like there's these like partnerships in all of these projects, in all of these products. And I think the main thing is that we always try to do tips of the hat to General Magic and Common Stack, since a lot of it goes unrewarded by the TEC directly. But hopefully the reward system will change that, and then it'll be more direct.
I just want to note before we close up that's but I mean, we have to consider that there's quantifiers, a bunch of quantifiers in that probably are not aware of this, and if they have their own community and they just take the praise and try to incorporate their own, I feel like this conversation also has to go to all our documentation, and whatever the praise system is mentioned, or if you want to acknowledge this, it has to go through our documentation to acknowledge this, and who are the point of contact. Like, hey, if you want to know about the praise, go directly to the Discord of Doug or Giveth or whoever. Sort of, we have to redirect them, because this is not clear for anyone, not even for me on the orientation part. Like, just happened with Gnosis Chain, who just joined the call. So I feel like this is the kind of things that we have to put down on paper. Not paper as a legal, paper as in documentation for the DEC, so we are aware of this. That's it.
I was going to say something similar, Edu. There's so many cases in the world that need what the TEC has built. Like, this whole infrastructure combination that is the TEC can be applied to so many other organizations for benefit. So I would love to know, like, who to reach out to reproduce this, what the TEC has done. And then a separate question is, I'm wondering about case studies, because Livia, you're talking about we make general, the point of the TEC is to make general solutions that can benefit the whole world of token engineering, not any one project. But what about case studies? What if a specific case comes to us and say, hey, can we do some open source modeling of token engineering for our project? And I think that often you can see that would benefit the world by just having like a case study example of token engineering. So two separate, kind of supporting what Edu's saying, like who do we go to reproduce this whole TEC success? And secondly, the idea of case studies.
That brings up a great thing. There's the Commons Prize. I think Tam was going to say the same thing, but we're actually looking the Commons Stack is looking for another case study or another Commons to a community to build a Commons with. And so there was a tweet just yesterday that came.
Okay.
So there's to signal an interest form. So there's kind of a type form to say, I want to make a Commons, and we're going to have like the trusted seed is going to vote on the next Commons that the Commons Stack focuses on building with the community. And then, and actually the long-term strategy of the Commons Stack is after this next one, whoever wins the Commons Prize, we actually want to try to provide this as a service for other communities that they would, bring in some actual capital to support us to continue like making Commons like mad. So that's the Commons Stack's business model in the long run is to actually be paid to launch Commons. At least that's the current one, alongside the Trusted Seed memberships. And then the General Magic will hopefully productize Praise and be able to launch that also as a service for other communities. We're first beta testing the swag store. Oh man, we're over time. I'm sorry, Tam.
Yeah, it's okay. We are over time. This was opened a really interesting discussion, and I wonder that if it is not does not end up being a topic for our council, which is I think this Thursday. So I think that we can dig into this a lot more actually. Yeah, thanks everyone for your time today, and I think that this is a discussion we need to continue. So I'll make sure we have some more time for it.